And the doctor says, what's wrong? And he says, my leg hurts really bad. And he says, where? And he says, right up here in the hip. So the doctor puts on the stethoscope and listens, and he hears something. It says, hey, lend me $100. And the doctor looked up at the guy and said, did you say something? He said, no, it wasn't me. And he listens again. He said, please, I'll pay it back. His leg was talking to him. And he ran to his medical journal and he's looking it up. He can't find anything on something like this. And the guy says, check out my knee too. And the doctor listens to his knee and his knee says, hey, just 20 bucks, man. I need 20 bucks bad. Get me through the day. And the guy's like, what? This is an anomaly. I don't know what's going on. And the guy says, check out my ankle too. And the doctor listens to his ankle. And it says, got any spare change? Anything. Come on, man. I need it. And the guy said, well, what's wrong? What's wrong? And the doctor said, in my professional opinion, your leg is broken 3 places. Anyway, but Dukes. Thank you. I knew it would take a minute. So look, dreams come true in this business, don't they? Broke kid, south side of Chicago. Dad was a truck driver. Mom was a waitress. I watched my parents fight over money when I was a kid. You need to know your why, and your why is going to change. The wealthier you get, the more successful you get, your why will change, and that's okay. You just got to find something that motivates you. And at the beginning of this business, it was to avoid the pain of fighting over money like my parents did once in a while. And so I knew I needed to make something happen. I didn't know where or when. Got into this business like a lot of you, had a lot of naysayers and doubters, and so my first why was to prove them wrong, and then I started making money, and my next why was to go get wealthy. If you've never had anything before, anything great, there's nothing wrong with wanting wealth. There's nothing wrong with wanting a nice house or a nice car. It's been on display forever, and you've probably wanted it, and go get it. If you can get it somewhere, nothing's wrong with that. Don't be ashamed. But once you start getting money, there's the law of diminishing returns. Another new car, another big house. It starts to not be as exciting as the first one. I was blessed enough in this business to be able to retire for the first time at age 30. I didn't send in a resignation. They didn't put me in the Hall of Fame like Jack the other night. I just didn't show up to the office anymore. I grabbed my stuff, went to Miami. That's where you go from Chicago, and you just enjoy yourself. So I'm on the beach having a good time, and it was wonderful for about a month or 2. But then, I realized that all I needed was a vacation. I didn't need to retire. I missed helping people. I missed making a difference in the lives of people. That's what I was loving. I liked having such an impact on people's lives, whether it be in the business and helping them grow and develop as people, or as clients that we served, being across those kitchen tables. Like nobody helped my family, I needed to go help other families. And I loved it, and I missed it, but I needed a new purpose besides money. And it was put on my heart, put on my soul, to go do something big. And I had heard something once before, those who are last shall be first in heaven. And I started thinking of these poor children. TV commercials came on, and there were these kids that are orphans around the world. And, we live in America. We're a little spoiled here. A lot of us don't even know what's going on in the rest of the world. So I started seeing some of these things, and I realized, man, I got to do something about this. And it was put on my heart to start something. I didn't know what, but we came up with something. It was called All for One. And it was a children's charity. Thank you. Look, it's cool to shift a little bit and go from it being about you to being about others. It really does. It brings out the best in you. And so we were going to help underprivileged children in underdeveloped countries with health and education programs. And we started in Nicaragua, and then we went throughout Central America. We did stuff in Haiti. We went out to the Philippines, Vietnam. We were all over the world, and then went to Africa. And man, out of all the places I went, my heart went out like nothing else there. And I said, we got to do something about this. There are orphans in the streets. I was talking to someone recently, and we talk about the helicopter moms here. My wife, my wonderful wife, 5 kids at home. She somehow knows every moment of every day where each one is. And out there, no one's paying attention to anybody. There's 4 or 5-year-old kids on the streets everywhere, unsupervised. A lot of them don't have parents. And I said, man, we got to do something about this. So I came home, and you know what I did? what we're all taught. I built a team. I called up Greg Kapp. I'm like, Greg, we got to do something. He goes, I'm in. I called up John Shin. I'm in. The Villalobos says, we're in. Even Milet supported me, and Real jumped in, Fam jumped in, and then the rest of the great leaders. You just heard from the Blohovics. All of our people are serving and helping. A lot of the money from the success and everyone walking across the stage isn't just going into fancy cars and nice jewelry. A lot of it is going back to save the world and make this place better than it is. So look, we decided we got to do something out there, and right away, I think I missed one slide, if we can go back, we're building an orphanage, the second one, oh, maybe not. So we're building an orphanage in Sierra Leone right now for 100 children, and when I was out there, I'm like, I'm bringing one of these kids, I want to bring all home, but we need a bigger house. We got a big one, but we need a bigger one if I'm bringing them all home. So I just started with one, and man, what a blessing in our life. Everyone says, oh, that kid's so lucky, he hit the lottery. The Levitans adopted this little boy from nowhere. We hit the lottery. This kid is so awesome. He's such a blessing in our life. That was the day he got here. We didn't even know we were bringing him home. We had a family vacation planned for the next day. I thought it was going to be a few more months. It had already been a year and a half. But they said, you're bringing them home. I cried at the embassy in Sierra Leone because I did not think it was happening, and it just became that real. We brought them home. We went on a cross-country vacation. There was no time to settle. I mean, this was like WFG mode. Come on, chop, chop, chop. He doesn't even speak the language. He comes home to a birthday party with 20 girls in the pool. Yay! He jumps in the pool. He doesn't even know how to swim. We got him up. He doesn't know anything. He's excited about everything, man. This kid, we were in New Orleans there, having a great, we were going around the French Quarter. It was awesome. We got out to California. We had a big event. He's on stage at the big event. I mean, things are great. Then he starts to get this fever. So Cam brings him to urgent care, and they're like, oh, we don't know. Take him home, give him some ibuprofen. All right, okay, is that sure? Then the fever didn't go away, so we brought him back in, and it was way worse, and he was dehydrated. We got sent to Providence Hospital in Sherman Oaks while we were on vacation. They put him in the ER, and then we got rushed by ambulance down to Children's Hospital. He had severe malaria. Aww. 9 days in America, and man, this poor child, he was in the hospital, needles, all kinds of stuff. The doctors didn't know that it was malaria. They just know it was an infectious disease from Africa. So man, teams of doctors came in and they're talking. By the way, he's an orphan, an Ebola orphan. Remember the Ebola thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one of the most vicious diseases ever, wiped out lots of people. He's an orphan. Both parents died of Ebola when he was 1. So they didn't know it could be Ebola, it could be yellow fever, it could be anything. And we were in there, I was in the ICU for a week with him. Cam was taking care of the rest of the kids, swapping out so I can go do meetings at offices. 100% recovered. After a week, he's out and he's happy again. Hey, I'm back out. 2 days after we got out, 2 days later, we go to Jamie and Sean Villalobos for Father's Day. We're having a pool party, yay! We're all eating and having a blast, and you know, the kids are playing the pool. He's got his swimmies on. He's not scared, no problem. Well, someone accidentally dropped him in the pool while everyone was eating, and I'm eating something, and I look up, and he's at the bottom of the pool. I don't know, I can't even tell you the feeling, but I did a Baywatch. I was like, I got him up out of the water. I didn't know what to do. I just held him up like this, and I'm carrying him to the side of the pool. He's throwing up water. I got him on his side, and Sean came, and we were literally resuscitating this kid, and he looks up at me with these big, beautiful eyes, and he couldn't speak, but if he could, he would have said this: take me back to Africa. He was thinking it.
I'll take my chances with the lions.
Bring me back to where it's safe. I'll take my chances with the lions.
You're psychic, Rosie.
Oh my God. So that was my first couple weeks with our new son. Look, everybody. Let's talk about WFG for a minute, man. Some businesses are built to last and some are built to sell. And I will tell you this, because I believe it and I feel it. This is for the long haul. 22 years I've been doing this now. I started, I didn't know if it was going to last, but I'm so glad that I built a business in a way that it's going to last and serve me forever. Jack was the beginning of the Hall of Fame. Many of you will end up in there eventually. You just got to stay the course and stick with it. And it's going to not only provide wealth for you, but it's going to create a legacy for future generations. I know for a fact that some of my clients, when they pass or when they pass money to their kids, my kids are going to come into the business and my clients' kids are going to become my kids' clients. Do you understand? And then it's going to go generationally. Same thing with the business. Some of my teammates' kids are going to become my kids' teammates. And so that will go generationally. I read a book on excellence one time and they talked about excellence in relationships and it being about people having a mindset of long-term relationships. People need long-term relationships. And they need to think longer term. And not like what are you going to do tonight or what are you having for lunch. We're talking long term. And if you're going to be working anyway and working hard, why not work for your future? Why not work for your legacy and your family? I don't even consider this work sometimes. Isn't that hard to believe? Man, I've done construction before. Imagine if you're a landscaper out here in 106 degrees. That is work. Picking up a phone and go, hey, would you be interested? No, okay. Is that really work? You use like 2 muscles in your jaw, say a few words, and people are scared to death of it. That's not even work. But you can get wealthy or you can work really hard and get nowhere. I love this business. It just doesn't feel like work after a while. At the beginning, you got to get over some butterflies and some fears, but eventually, it's awesome. Look, you don't want to peak in too early either. You guys know you do a little research, you look at some things. I'm from Chicago. One of the best linebackers of all time was Dick Butkus.
Yep.
But guess what? 50 years ago, his top income was 50 grand. 50, so imagine being the best linebacker in football and you make 50,000. One of my real heroes and best running backs of all time, Walter Payton, made 475. I've got a couple dozen people on my team that make more than that. But he was like a hero, living legend. Now guys like Andrew Luck get out of school, a couple years later they're making 30 million, not including endorsements. Which era would you rather have been a pro football player in? Back then where you just get beat up and not paid much, or now where you get super duper wealthy and famous and paid a lot? Babe Ruth, the Babe, top year, 80,000. People still talk about the Babe. 100 years later, A-Rod, before he retired, was making 30 million without endorsements. Once again, what era would you like to do something special in? Wilt Chamberlain, the first superstar basketball player, signed a 5-year contract for 250 grand. Steph Curry signed a 4-year contract for 200 million, not including endorsements. I guess he's a good golfer and a chef and a good everything. Who knows what his future holds? The time is now, everybody. Man, Rocky Marciano, man, one of the best all-time heavyweight champions. He averaged about $150,000 a year in his 10 years of being a pro boxer. The fight next weekend, Mayweather's gonna make $300 million for one fight. It hurt just as bad to get punched in the face 50 years ago as it does now. You just get paid way more now for taking a shot. I'll get in the ring for $300 million. Let someone, can't mess this up anymore. It is what it is. You ever run into somebody and they're like, oh, I was in AOA, I was in that thing 20 years ago, 40 years. You're like, you must be rich today. If you were in that in all these years of compounding, how wealthy are you? Well, you know, my dog got sick. I was someone told me no, and so I'm working down the street here, bagging groceries at the Piggly Wiggly. What? You missed your moment. You either peaked too soon or you missed your moment. You know, we can't do that anymore. Look, every so often a new idea comes to an old industry and changes the industry forever. Guess what? This platform isn't a new idea. It came around 40 years ago. It's time for a new idea.